Good morning, Guardians. Briar Rabbit here. Today, we've got a bunch of really cool community creations that I'd like to feature. I'd like to highlight them, and I'll put the links to each one of them in the description below, and I highly recommend you go down there and you click those links after the video because a lot of these creators have a bunch of other stuff that's really awesome too. So just because I featured one piece of their art in today's video doesn't mean they don't have a ton of other awesome stuff that you want to check out. With that being said, let's get going. First up, and this should surprise nobody at this point, SC Slayerage is back, this time soloing the heroic mode of the Siege Engine in the Wrath of the Machine raid.
Oh my god, stop bumping into stuff. I didn't think I got it because it took so long for my character to pick it up. Hey dude, that's not a waste of time that's unfair at all.
Now, there is a little bit of controversy surrounding this achievement. It turns out SC Slayerage used a third-party adapter for his controller that allows him to set up macros, and you can see this in the video. When he goes to pick up the Siege Engine parts, you can see that he picks them up and blinks instantly. Now, I personally don't really have a problem with this. This is an incredible feat by SC Slayerage. He's honest about using the adapter, and as long as he's not using it in PvP, I could really care less about how he uses a third-party adapter on his PlayStation or in Destiny. My problem would come if he was using it in PvP, which he doesn't, so I don't care. It is still a very impressive feat. It does bring up the point that these devices are out there. You know, people can buy them for their PlayStation or Xbox, and they can cheat in PvP, not just in Destiny, but in any game. And that's a little bit worrisome. So, to be honest with you, even though I don't have a problem with Slayerage using this to perform this feat, I do have a problem with these things being available because they are so likely to be used in PvP. And I'd like to see Bungie address this, maybe somehow being able to disable them. I don't even know if that's a possibility, but it is concerning, and it does bring these devices to light. The fact that somebody was able to do something so impressive as this by using an adapter. Speaking of Destiny challenges completed using third-party adapters, this is ManoDestra777, who's about to go flawless in Trials of Osiris with a Rockband drum kit.
I'm standing by this orb in case he self-reses.
Bring it home, Guardian. Enemy target has been revived.
Two of my favorite things are music and video games, and when somebody combines the two, I love it. I absolutely adore it. This is Daddy Fat Snaps with his State of the Union Destiny rap, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. In fact, if you like what you see here, you got to check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description. He's got a ton of these. He's got some for Mass Effect. He's got more for Destiny. They're a lot of fun to listen to, so definitely go check out his channel.
The Destiny community, a state of emergency, and I ain't having it. I came for insurgency. I hear all the chatter. The urgency is certainly at a boiling point, and it urges me deservedly to speak on this absurdity. I'm not saying I'm the only one that matters. The game needs diversity, but that's a bad look. Chill down, drink some herbal tea, and take a step back instead of voicing all internally.
The last thing I wanted to talk about today is a very cool episode of Crucible Radio. If you're not familiar with Crucible Radio, it's a very good podcast. They have it up on iTunes. They also post it over on Planet Destiny. And it's basically a podcast focused on the Crucible in Destiny. Now, this was a cool episode because they ditched their regular format and just had about a 45-minute episode of Famous Birds talking about why Bungie doesn't necessarily seem to respond to the changes the community would like to see in Destiny.
I don't know how everyone seemed to forget, but the year one Crucible was despised. That was the message, no matter where you went. Everyone says Crucible is broken AF. It's toxic. I never want to play it. And the reality is the vast majority of players never played Crucible. Maybe they'd pop in for Iron Banner, but that was it. It was just a different game. You had shotguns and Blink. You had Thorn, you had Firebolts and the Ram and exotic hand cannons. And everyone said it's making this game unplayable.
Now, what I love about this podcast is the detail he goes into about the development of Destiny, how game developers operate, and their motivations. And I think it's well worth a listen if you have a problem with the state of the game right now. Now, I don't agree with 100% of what he says in the podcast, but 90% of it I think is spot on. And it is interesting to hear him kind of explain why we might not get the changes we would like to see, especially in the Crucible. So this one's well worth a listen. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him, I highly recommend you check it out. And I'll put a link to Crucible Radio down in the description. That's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.